In this lesson, we will find the greatest common factor for a set of numbers. Just a tip that the greatest common factor is often abbreviated in math and is known as the GCF. And the greatest common factor is exactly what its name says. It is the greatest of all the common factors. So in a previous lesson on algebraclass.com, we talked about common factors. And if you missed that lesson, you might want to go back and view that lesson so that you can understand fully what common factors are. Because we're going to need that information to help us find the greatest common factor. So the greatest common factor just means that we're going to first find all the factors for our set of numbers. We're going to find the greatest common factor for 24, 36, and 48. So I'm going to start by finding all the factors for the number 24. So we know that we can find the factors for 24 by starting with 1. So 1 times 24 is 24. 2 times 12 is 24. 3 times 8 is 24. And 4 times 6 is 24. 24 is not divisible by 5, so that is not a factor. And then we would start repeating with 6, so we'll stop there. So the factors for 24 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, and 24. And notice how I write them in numerical order. That just makes it easier to find the greatest common factor. So my next job then is to find all the factors for 36. So I'm going to start with 1, and 1 times 36 is 36. Then we're going to move on to 2, and 2 times 18 is 36. 3 times 12 is 36. 4 times 9 is 36. 36 is not divisible by 5. And then we have 6 times 6. So the factors for 36 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 12, 18, and 36. Now we have 3 numbers, so we need to do this again. And this time we're going to find all the factors for 48, starting with 1 times 48. And then we know that 2 times 24 is 48, and 3 times 16 is 48. 4 times 12 is 48. And 48 is not divisible by 5, so we have 6 times 8 is 48. So our factors of 48 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, 16, 24, and 48. Okay, so this step was just simply listing all the factors for each of the 3 numbers. That's our first step. Our second step is to then figure out which of the factors are common factors. Common factors means that they're the same. Since I have 3 numbers that I'm finding the greatest common factor for, I need to make sure that all 3 numbers have the same common factors. So, for example, 1 is a common factor because 1 is a factor of all 3 numbers. The same with 2. All 3 have a factor of 2. They all 3 have a factor of 3. The same with 4 and 6. Here's where it gets a little tricky because 36 does not have 8 as a factor, so that will not work. But they do all 3 have 12 as a factor. And since 36 doesn't have 24, that won't work, and none of the remaining factors will work. So the common factors for the 3 numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. So all of these factors are considered common factors. That means that they are the same. When we talk about the greatest common factor, we're going to focus on the first word, which is greatest. Greatest means the largest. So out of the common factors, which number is the largest? That number is 12. And that means that 12 is the greatest common factor for these three numbers. Okay, so your steps are to find all the factors, circle the common factors, and then identify of those common factors which one is the largest or the greatest. And that is your greatest common factor.